People spend years refining specific skills to master complex fields. This focus grants individuals significant power to solve intricate problems within their chosen discipline. Yet this same dedication often leaves them unable to grasp basic concepts from neighboring areas of study. We see experts who command vast technical landscapes while remaining completely detached from other intellectual traditions. This creates a strange situation where increasing personal competence leads to a shrinking awareness of the wider world. We must consider if this narrow focus serves to build knowledge or if it merely builds walls between different ways of thinking. Intellectual specialization is like a high-powered microscope lens because it reveals minute details while blurring the peripheral environment. The lens concentrates light on one tiny point of interest, which brings sharp clarity to that specific area. By magnifying one segment, the periphery falls into complete obscurity. This phenomenon happens because academic training forces students to dedicate their limited hours to specific methodologies. They learn to speak the language of their niche, which makes communication with outsiders difficult. Over time, these individuals lose the ability to interpret information that falls outside their specialized framework. This process is not a result of personal choice, but a requirement of modern institutional structures. These systems prioritize depth over breadth to sustain rapid progress in complex technical tasks. Consequently, scholars become highly efficient producers of knowledge who are increasingly isolated from the broader intellectual community. The trade-off is clear when we observe how professional silos discourage cross-disciplinary inquiry. Consider two university researchers working in the same building. One investigates the chemical properties of synthetic polymers for industrial use. The other explores historical narratives regarding social change during the Industrial Revolution. Both individuals possess high levels of intelligence and years of rigorous academic preparation. However, they lack a common vocabulary to discuss their findings in meaningful ways. When they meet, their conversations stay limited to surface-level pleasantries. They cannot bridge the gap between quantitative data and qualitative interpretation. The chemist sees the historian as someone who lacks empirical rigor. The historian views the chemist as someone who ignores the human consequences of technical innovation. Neither person is at fault for this disconnect. Their training programs emphasize different modes of inquiry that do not overlap. They exist in parallel universes despite sharing a physical space. This separation persists because their respective fields reward distinct types of logical reasoning. They have no incentive to learn the other's craft, so they remain strangers in the same institution. I find this situation troubling because it suggests that our current path toward progress relies on a fragmented understanding of reality. We celebrate the expert who knows everything about one tiny subject, yet we ignore the cost of this total immersion. My perspective is that we have institutionalized a form of intellectual blindness. By training students to be specialists, we are creating a society composed of people who cannot talk to each other. This is a paradox because our greatest challenges require integrated solutions from multiple fields. We need the scientists to understand the social impact of their work, and we need the humanists to engage with technical realities. If we continue to isolate these domains, we will struggle to address problems that do not fit into neat categories. We are building a world where information is abundant, but wisdom is scarce. I suspect that the current model of education prioritizes output over understanding, which leaves us with a fractured view of our own progress. Is it possible that we are sacrificing our collective ability to synthesize knowledge in exchange for short-term gains in technical efficiency? We are left to wonder if this division is a permanent feature of our intellectual landscape. Perhaps we are simply moving toward a future where no single person can grasp the full picture of human achievement. I keep noticing how often we settle for this limited perspective without questioning the underlying design. We should ask ourselves if this current arrangement of knowledge is truly the most effective path forward. Can we find a way to encourage deep expertise without losing our ability to communicate across the boundaries we have created?